Hello and welcome. Reiki, the dog, is going to be teaching restorative yoga today. She is the star of the show. Look, she's fed up already. Look. Hello and welcome. I hope you've had a good day today. We've been on the beach. It's been really lovely walking the dog. Right, now for here you need a bed. So pause the video, get on your bed. If you need carers with you, get them to help you. Remember, you can always pause these videos, and it's all about playing around in restorative yoga. Get in the bolster, your pillows wrapped around a tight towel, making sure that that bolster is really up to your hip. Twist, walk down. Right, just look, have a look where my legs are. So my legs are to one side. I'm moving my bolster up to my hip, because if you don't move the bolster up to your hip, you feel really uncomfortable in this pose. Restorative yoga is all about playing around, getting into that comfortable position, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to restore. That's what's really good about restorative yoga. There's no pain there, unless it's a chronic pain that you suffer with, obviously. But we have to try and get nice and comfortable in these poses. Okay, so when you're ready, 3 deep big breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, 3 times, really resetting that nerve system, so we can start to reduce pain. And then we will tell you about the benefits. Okay, so being in this pose, we're just really bringing our awareness now into our body, okay? So anything that's bothering you, leave it behind. Anything that's coming to your future, bring it back to the present. We're here to be in the present moment with our body, to listen to our body. And when we think of problems, when we think of anything that's distracting us and making us feel sad, we need to come out of that and work on ourselves, work on our mind, work on our body, so we can improve these things when we are out of the lesson, by having a positive mood set due to the hormones that are balancing out, and for us to gain wisdom. Yeah, we're cheating here, we are using the hormones, and we are doing it the easiest way, but this is the best way, and we are amazing. So yes. Okay, so what happens in this pose is the bolster is shaping the back, and if you really go within, feeling your back now, so bringing all your attention into your back, okay, the side of your back, and you'll notice that the coccyx area and the lumbar spine, okay, are having to stay where it is. All right, so it's just kind of in a lower level, and then you've got the bolster coming in. So the bolster is moving the spine. Okay, it's the spine is being reshaped by the bolster. So half of the lumbar, the top lumbar, and the thoracic is being moved in the shape of the bolster. Okay, so there's a bit of a heel going on, or a step going on. Now this is really, really good if you suffer from scoliosis, posture issues, backache, and backache from anywhere on the body, because our muscles around our spine, so the erector muscles, we've got other muscles there as well protecting the spine, they're having to work hard to look after the spine, to protect the spine. It doesn't matter how bad your back is. Oh, you know, I've got a slipped disc, or I've got you know, my bones are eaten away and things like that. That's fine. That's fine being in this pose. It's fine in most restorative yoga poses, because the muscles are doing all the work, and that's what we need. Your muscles need to become really strong for everyday life to get you in that right frame mind. So really getting nice and comfortable and going for it. So just feeling the back area and how this is feeling for you. Okay, so we're going to really slowly turn in our head the opposite direction, so staying in the pose that we're in, but just moving your head to the other side. Now, for some people this can feel very awkward. My advice is, if you do get stabbing pains in your neck, then to bring your head the other way around. If it just feels awkward, I do suggest that you stay in this pose. But again, listening to your body, seeing what feels good for you. I'm not here to see you face to face, so the best advice from me is to listen to your body. And I tell my ladies this all the time who I teach face to face. Now, if you do have your head and you're keeping your head this way, this pose does a lot. So we can always, I find if you prop yourself up in this pose with your head, it's gonna hurt even more, if that makes sense, because you're stretching the neck even more. So if it does hurt too much, you just have to put your head the other way. Anyway, so really coming into this pose, really feeling what's going on now as I'm gonna explain the benefits that are happening. Now your spine is really being twisted. You might be able to feel it in your cervical, and you might be able to feel it in your lower back or coccyx. Amazing for people with osteoporosis, with scoliosis, and with backaches. This is a really, really good pose to do for you guys. Now, we're twisting the spine. This means that we're twisting the discs. This is a good thing to do naturally. The discs are having a soak. They're sponges, yeah? That's what discs are. So now they're getting a soak. They're releasing all the old fluid away from the disc. So all that old fluid is coming out like a sponge. And then when we move out of this posture, the discs release and brings a new set of fluid back in to the sponge. How amazing is that? I know, right? None of us know about restorative yoga, and this is what we need to be doing, right? So the discs are really enjoying this pose. They love this pose. And then this is just one part. This is just one part of the body that is restoring. So we go different ways in this pose, so we do both, okay? But you can just bring your awareness down now to your organs. Now, depending on what side that you've picked first, so I'll go through it all. Your diaphragm is being squashed. Your spleen is being squashed. Your stomach is being squashed. Your intestines, your big and your small, are being squashed. Your urinary bladder is being squashed. Your kidney, the other kidney if you're on that side, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the liver, the heart, the lung, the esophagus, the major the major blood vessel, which is just resting kind of thing over your lung, and it finishes down by your armpits. I'm having a bit of a fibro fog right now, and I've forgotten what this area is called. I'm very honest, I don't lie. But also your liver, your adrenal gland, your kidney, your uterus, your ovaries, your pancreas, your stomach, your thymus. Okay, these are all your thyroids. These are all hormones. Okay, your hormones are in these organs and you're squashing them. So this is why this is really good. Okay, I can just know by the way I'm talking about it how this is going to surprise all of you, and this is why I love restorative yoga so much. Your organs are like sponges as well, yeah, so they get squashed, and when they release they get new set of blood that comes rushing through. It starts to thrive, it starts to get new energy. So again, really important. So bringing your head the other direction, and pause it if you need help getting up. Rolling up from the mat. And we're going to go the other way, so take your time, pause it if you have to, okay? It's very important because we need to go slow like a sloth. So we're going to go the other way, and it doesn't really matter how you get there as long as you're comfortable. For me, I put my arm like this. You don't have to, it's not the right pose to do, it's just one of my creations. I suffer with a trapped nerve in my neck that goes all the way up to the top of my skull. Lovely. And no one can touch it. Only restorative yoga can touch it. So this is why I do listen to my body and do what my body wants me to do in these poses. But if you don't suffer with anything like that, or if you want to give your neck a bit of a stretch, you can do it if you want. But if you don't want to, if you want to come back to the normal pose, that's cool. You just put your arm underneath the bolster, two of your arms underneath the bolster, so your hands are underneath. And then your 3 deep big breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth 3 times, resetting the whole of the nervous system again, because the more we keep resetting it, the more the nerve system will say to the brain, look, I'm calming down now, I'm relaxing, so I don't need this pain, take the pain away from me. And it's learning, you know, it's the nerve system works with the breath, yeah. So this is why, you know, ladies who who go into labour and the nurses say breathe. Okay, that's really important. That's why they say it, because it's really important, because it's a pain reliever when we do deep big breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. And this is what the midwife says. And it's funny because I was actually talking to one of my friends who's a midwife about it, and it's amazing because I got it from a midwife. It's not a normal restorative yoga thing, but I got it from a midwife because it's the breath, and yoga is the breath, you know. That's one of the styles of yoga, is the breath. So this is why we always do the deep big breaths. It's very important. It's not boring, it's not lazy, it's really important. So really go in for those breaths. Okay, so if you can, turn in your head the other direction. Remember, just because you can't do it one side doesn't mean that you can that you can't do it the other side. Okay, so every side of the body is different, so give it a go, you'll be surprised. Remember again though, any sharp pains to come out of this pose, bringing your head back to the normal pose. So I'm just going to let you ponder for a bit, okay, on the body, about what we just spoke about. I just want you to imagine it happening. Remember any distractions, any thoughts. Don't let the monkey mind control your body and mind. Making sure that you return back to the visualization of your discs and your organs doing what we just spoke about. Slowly start to move your head the other direction, coming back to your awareness and your attention on the body. And really slowly start to wiggle your fingers and come into a seated position if you can, remembering if you need to get a carer to help you. Now, for this pose, there's going to be a lot of variations. Really understand that you are the professional here, okay? I'm just guiding you. We're going to do something called thread the needle, bringing our arms up, sitting on a bolster or bed pillows, and bringing our arm, threading it through between the two bolsters, or rough pillows, tough pillows if you got them. This is just one variation, so don't panic. This is the one that is normal, restorative yoga pose, and then I will show you the ones that I've created for people who are less mobile. So this is just one. So you're sitting on the bolster like a horse, yeah, and then you're placing your forehead on the bolster, leaving your nose through the gap so you can breathe, and placing one arm up high over your head and relax it, and then place the other arm in between the two bolsters and relax it. So that's just one pose. Now, if this is too much for your knees, maybe you have arthritis and in your hips or your knees, your feet, you can actually bring your legs down while still being in this pose. If you can't physically get in this pose because of mobility issues, you can actually lay down on your back, put one arm out to the side, and then put a bolster behind your head and roll your body so you're on your belly. So you could get the nurses to help you roll, making sure that your arm though is nice and relaxed. You don't want a broken arm, so making sure it's relaxed. And if you feel as if you can't roll, visualise. Now everyone's like, oh, but I don't want to visualise, visualising's not good enough. It bloody is good enough. It's so powerful, visualisation. So powerful. If it wasn't for visualisation, I wouldn't be here, what I'm doing today. Remember that. So if you're paralysed from the top of your head to all the way down to your toes, laying on your bed and visualising doing this in your mind, closing your eyes and meditating, visualising that you're doing it, because you're tricking your body. That's what's going on. You're tricking your body, thinking, your body starts thinking that it's in this pose. And it's funny how the body, it is intelligent, don't get me wrong, but it's not as intelligent as the mind, you know. So you're controlling the mind to tell the body that it's in that position when it's not, and that's what's so funny about it. So get in your mind to visualize the position that I'm in now, and just start feeling what's going on while you are picturing this with yourself. So remember your 3 deep big breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and then we'll start talking about this pose. So resetting the whole of the nervous system here. The thread and needle does a lot of things. We're in a kind of child's pose here, which is rolling into a pose. And as you can imagine, if you go within the body, so we're feeling around the shoulder area, and you will feel a stretch that's going on around that shoulder that's actually threading. So there's a little stretch going on there. One of my clients who come to class actually said that her husband got into this pose. He suffers with really bad IBS. He got into this pose and it seriously just sorted him out for about 3-4 days, which is surprising because this pose I wouldn't really feel that would do that, but it obviously has. It worked for him. But all of our bodies are different. Just because it works for someone doesn't work for another person, and if it doesn't work for them, it doesn't mean that it can't work for another person, if that makes sense. So closing your eyes, really just feeling. If you can see me on camera, I'm just having a bit of a play around here, feeling how it feels for people with arthritis and in their knees, hips, and their feet. Even if you have circulation, get into the pose that I'm going to now. If you feel as if the blood is cutting away down by your legs or your feet, because sometimes, I mean, I have Raynaud's, okay, so we get a lot of circulation issues. Child's pose, don't like the pose at all. It doesn't suit me well, so now I'm getting into this pose, and that's why you can see me move if you can. If not, if you've got your eyes closed, nothing to worry about. I'm just getting into one of the other variations for myself. Okay, so now we're gonna change arms. So if you're in the normal restorative yoga pose, you could just change your arms around. If you're in the arthritis pose or achy or Raynaud's, any circulation issue or disability issue pose, then you can roll to one side where your arm is the opposite direction side, so you don't flatten your arm, and then roll yourself up and then get back onto the bolster and move the other side. So bringing your arm onto the bolster, behind the bolster, and then your head on the bolster. And then visualize as well, visualization that your arm, you're moving your arms the other direction. So the benefits from this, so yeah, it's meant to be, it might be really good for IBS, which is amazing. Another really good thing it's for people who suffer from anxiety and depression, because it's a bit like a child's pose. People who suffer with anxiety are very flighty. Things don't feel organised enough for them. They feel a bit scared. They just feel as if their head is everywhere, you know. So this pose, if you do have anxiety, it just brings you down. Okay, it just helps you to feel safe. I used to have very bad anxiety with the fibro before restorative yoga, and when I used to do the restorative yoga, the child's pose, at first it was fine, but as my condition with the Raynaud's is getting a little worse, doesn't agree with me anymore. But I don't have anxiety anymore because of restorative yoga. So it's really good for anxiety because you're squashing a lot of the organs, if you think about it as well, the hormone organs, which help bring the anxiety down with the endorphins and the oxytocin hormone. If you have breathing issues as well, if it feels a bit too much, you can lay on your back now, or sitting up, whatever feels more comfortable, because we're squashing the lungs here for quite a long time. So if you have asthma or anything, you might be okay in this pose, you might not. I mean, I have a lady with asthma in my class and she loves, one of her favourite poses is child pose. Hi Laura! It's just feeling what this pose feels for you right now, really feeling within. Okay, for everyone now, I'm going to wriggle the fingers, wriggle the toes, and then we're going to roll over the opposite direction as where the hand is facing. So you lay straight on your back, staying on our back. If you need to pause it to get on your back, please do so. 3 deep big breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth 3 times. Just feeling how this yoga, this class, this session, how it's felt for you today. How did you feel before class to now? And what are you grateful for your body? It could be your eyes, it could be your ears, it could be your legs. What are you grateful for today? So you can stay here for a little while, or you can roll over. Much love. I hope you have a really beautiful sleep and a really good day tomorrow. Take care.